Good afternoon and welcome, Minister for Foreign Affairs, Þorgerður Katrín Gunnarsdóttir, Excellencies. It's a great honor on behalf of the University of Iceland to welcome you here today for this kickoff seminar in a series of 4 seminars that will be held this winter to celebrate the successes of the GRÓ programs. Today we're talking about geothermal energy, and the following seminars will be on land restoration, gender equality and fisheries, reflecting the breadth of issues that are dealt with in these programs. The GRÓ program is a very important part of Iceland's development cooperation and demonstrates the incredibly important contributions that are made to these fields in which Iceland probably has the most to give internationally. It has a history extending back over almost half a century, and I think we can look back with pride and forward with hope that the fellows will continue to contribute to their fields here in Iceland, and also when they return to their home countries, where they bring their expertise back and continue to make a difference. At times like ours, when wars are raging and famine is widespread, it's probably never been as important to focus on development cooperation, to secure funding for development and for the positive impact that we can have on the lives of people all over the world. While these programs are not all hosted at the University of Iceland, it is a great honor to have you here today, and I would like to mention that so many of the fellows in all 4 programs continue to study, many of them return to the university for their advanced degrees and take that expertise back with them to continue contributing to the welfare of their home communities. We could not be more proud, and we are thrilled to see the international reach and impact that this helps the University of Iceland have. With that, I don't want to delay any further. I'd like to welcome the Minister for Foreign Affairs, Excellency Þorgerður Katrín Gunnarsdóttir, and wish you all a great time today, and good luck to the GRÓ program.
Excellencies, Rector of the University of Iceland, GRÓ GTP fellows and staff, ladies and gentlemen, so good to see you here. I welcome you to this first event, like Silja Bara said, to this first event in a series of focusing on the work and impact of the 4 GRÓ training programs on geothermal, fisheries, land restoration and gender equality. Today we celebrate nearly 50 years of Iceland's efforts to promote and advance geothermal energy around the world through the GRÓ Geothermal Training Programme, which we are very, very proud of. Combined, the 4 training programs have been operating for just over a century. And during that time, 1,839 fellows, to be precise, have undergone the 5 to 6 months training of GRÓ. There are countless stories of the impact fellows that have made in their home countries and beyond. We in Iceland can take pride in having played a role in supporting them and their home institutions also in their vital work. The purpose of this series, From Knowledge to Development Impact, is to share some of these stories, some of these wonderful stories from my opinion. We want to create space for the voices of fellows so that they can tell us about their successes and challenges, how they have used the training here, and how it has benefited as well their own home countries. Through their stories, we aim to highlight the impact for the 4 GRÓ training programs. But, dear friends, why are we doing this? The answer is that it is important to shed light on the positive results of development cooperation. This is particularly true today as we see significant reductions in development budgets. with severe consequences for those most in need. And that is the saddest thing now when we are discussing and listening to sometimes very stupid approach in development cooperation. As I mentioned in my statement to the United Nations General Assembly in UNGA in New York this autumn, international cooperation has, since the establishment of the UN 80 years ago, been guided by belief in the dignity and worth of every human being. Today, that vision is, from my point of view, is under threat. As respect for international law weakens and we see also isolationism grow with eroding trust in the rules-based order that has kept our world more free and more secure for now decades. We must not accept a future where power replaces principles and the strong decide the fate of the weak, where the bigger countries rule over the smaller ones. That we cannot accept. There have always been voices asking whether development aid truly works. Does it work? I always get this question, especially the last couple of weeks. Or whether we Icelanders can afford to help others when facing challenges at home. This rhetoric is global, we notice that, but it can also be heard here in Iceland, and we must push back against this narrative. At the heart of development cooperation lies a simple belief that our shared humanity binds us together, that progress for one nation uplifts us all other nations as well. Development cooperation is an investment in our common rights and freedoms, bringing us closer to a more stable, to more just, to more sustainable and peaceful world as well. And today's challenges, from climate change to the health of our oceans, beloved oceans, from ecosystem collapse to persistent inequality, that demands stronger international cooperation, not less. So, ladies and gentlemen, just over a century ago, Iceland was among the poorest countries in Europe. The sectors that the 4 GRÓ training programs focus on, geothermal, like I mentioned, geothermal, sustainable fisheries, land restoration, and gender equality, all these 4 training programs, they were all key to Iceland's transformations from extreme poverty to our prosperity today. We know from experience the transformative power of knowledge in these sectors because we have lived in it. Iceland is fortunate to have expertise in these fields, and we see it as both our privilege and our responsibility to share that knowledge out with the world. The roots of the GRÓ training programs go back to the late 1970s, when Iceland had only recently transitioned from being a country receiving development assistance to becoming a donor and a partner country. The question people asked back then was, how can a small nation with limited funds make the greatest impact? And the answer was plain and simple, by sharing knowledge, and that is what we did. Harnessing geothermal energy and other sustainable energy sources had transformed Icelandic society, providing enormous economic benefits and also a cleaner air. The Geothermal Training Programme, then a part of the United Nations University, was established in the year 1978 at the Icelandic Energy Authority, Orkustofnun, Icelandic word, Orkustofnun. Today, the GTP is hosted under the umbrella of GRÓ, Center for Capacity Development, Sustainability and Societal Change, operating under the auspices of UNESCO and hosted at Icelandic Geoserver, ISOR. Thank you, ISOR, as well. I saw you out here. But, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pride to look over this room and to see current fellows which I met here in the hall, 23 experts from 16 countries, 23 experts from 16 countries working to expand geothermal development in their home countries. You are the 46th cohort to undertake the training and only a week away from graduation. Including you, there are almost 840 geothermal experts that have completed the training at the GRÓ GTP. Each of you nominated by your home institution for your expertise and potential to drive geothermal development. The GRÓ GTP fellows are true agents of change. Many are joining us online today, and I want to warmly acknowledge their presence as well. Perhaps the most striking example of the impact of the GRÓ GTP is in Kenya. Since 1982, the program has trained over 160 Kenyan geothermal experts who have played a pivotal role in harnessing Kenya's geothermal potential, helping their country become the 6th largest geothermal country in the world in terms of installed capacity. Actually, in fact, ahead of us here in Iceland, that is number 9 on the list. The impact of the training is amplified as GRÓ GTP works with its Kenyan partners in delivering training to experts across the East African region. The same is true for another major country, El Salvador, that now provides training to neighboring nations in cooperation with GRÓ GTP through its own initiative to spread geothermal knowledge across this wonderful region. And yet another example is China, which has become a world leader in geothermal energy for heating, particularly through large-scale district heating projects where GTP fellows have played a key role in cooperation with Icelandic sectors. Indonesia and the Philippines are both major geothermal countries and among the GRÓ GTP's biggest partner countries. And I hope also to see, because I rarely discussed with Grímur Jónsson here earlier, that I want to see Greenland as well a part of our group in the foreseeable future. It is appropriate that this open series is held in cooperation with the Institute of International Affairs at the University of Iceland, as the history of GRÓ is closely, very closely tied to the university's own story. 93 GRÓ GTP fellows have finished a master's on GTP scholarship, most at the University of Iceland, and 4 have completed their PhDs here. The first African scholar to earn a PhD from the University of Iceland was GTP fellow Dr. Pacifica Ogola of Kenya, who now leads her country's Department of Climate Change and Kenya's negotiation as well on climate change at the UN. Her story is one among more than 800 individual stories that embody the impact of this program. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm always very proud when I hear of the important work of GRÓ fellows over the world and the lasting impact they have been able to achieve with the support of the programs. The series we now launch today also provides an opportunity to express gratitude to the staff of the GTP and the many experts in Iceland and abroad who have contributed to the program's success over nearly 50 years. Many are present here today. I thank also the fellows for sharing their experience and commend them for their achievement as well. I congratulate the fellows graduating also next week and wish them every success in the foreseeable future. I want to thank all of you for attending today's event and for your interest in Iceland's work on international development cooperation, and in particular the GRÓ Geothermal Training Programme. This is the first event, like I said, and Silja Bara mentioned, that in a series that I now officially launch. I encourage you to stay tuned for the next events that will focus on the impact of other GRÓ programs, very important programs as well, that will take place in the coming months. I now will hand over the moderation of this event to Mr. Bjarni Richter, Director of the GRÓ Geothermal Training Programme. Thank you for attending here today, and all the best to all of you.
Thank you, Minister. Thank you, Silja Bára. My name is Bjarni Richter, and I'm the Director of the GRÓ Geothermal Training Programme. I took over last year at the beginning of July from Mr. Guðni Axelsson, which is here with us also. And I'm also very happy to see Mr. Ingvar Birgir here with us today, which was the first one and run this program under the UNU Geothermal Training Programme for decades. So if it wasn't for him, we would maybe not be here. So I would like to give applause to Ingvar Birgir. So next, I want to invite Mr. Peter Meina to come up here. There he is, yes. And tell us a little bit about how the GRÓ Geothermal Training Programme has assisted and helped both him and his company and his country. Please.
Thank you, Bjarni. Honorable Minister, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It's an afternoon, good afternoon. My name is Peter Ndirangu, a PhD student at the Reykjavik University under sponsorship of GRÓ GTP and a 2022 fellow for the 6 months training program. Today I'm here to talk with you and have a discussion, a candid discussion, and it is really a great honor for me to be here today to share my country's remarkable geothermal journey and, more importantly, the human story behind it. A story of how investment in people through programs like GRÓ GTP has transformed a nation's energy landscape and inspired an entire region. Kenya, as you will see on the map up there, lies within the East African Rift. This is a region that is blessed with immense geothermal potential. Over the last 2 decades, this potential has been steadily realized. Geothermal energy now accounts for 47% of Kenya's electricity generation, making it the largest source of clean energy in the country's national mix. And behind every power plant, behind every drilling rig, behind every steam line, behind every innovation, there is a person whose skills were built through focused training and international collaboration. Kenya is today ranked 6th, and the Honorable Minister has correctly captured that. Kenya is today ranked 6th globally in installed geothermal capacity, a truly remarkable achievement for a developing country. From modest beginnings in the 1980s, we now have over 985 megawatts of electricity online, with ambitious plans to surpass the 1 gigawatt club. This progress did not happen by chance. It is the result of deliberate investment in human capacity, supported by partners such as GRÓ GTP and the government of Iceland. And as you can see there, those are the countries that are ahead of us: the US, Indonesia, Philippines, Turkey, and New Zealand. Kenya comes right next, and you see Iceland is at position 9. Is a typical case of the student performing better than the teacher. Kenya's geothermal journey is built on several key pillars: strong government commitment, robust institutional collaboration, access to modern technology, and unwavering focus on sustainability. The foundation of this all is the glue that holds this together, and that is capacity building. GRÓ GTP is at the heart of capacity building because technology without people is potential unrealized. Through the years, Kenya's partnership with Iceland has ensured that our people remain at the heart of geothermal growth. Through GRÓ GTP's 6-month postgraduate training programs, dozens of Kenyan professionals have gained specialized skills in geosciences such as geochemistry, geology and geophysics, drilling, reservoir engineering, and environmental management. These alumni have returned home to lead teams, mentor others, and introduce new technologies and practices that make geothermal projects more efficient and sustainable. From the laboratories of Reykjavik to the fields of Olkaria and Menengai, and I have so many friends over here that are very familiar with Olkaria and Menengai, knowledge has flowed seamlessly, transforming potential into progress. And just in case there is somebody asking what Olkaria is, that photograph at the bottom is one of our power plants, Olkaria 2, that was commissioned. The third unit was commissioned in 2010. But from that year, we have since brought online 3 other power plants with a capacity of 140 megawatts at least each. The impact of GRÓ GTP in Kenya has been extraordinary. Over 400 Kenyan professionals have been trained through the annual short courses held in Kenya since the year 2005. It is important to note that the only year that this short course was not held was in 2020, of course due to the pandemic then, but otherwise it has been very sustainable and the fruits of this effort are very clear. Its influence now extends far beyond Kenyan borders, with over 450 regional participants from Ethiopia, Tanzania, Djibouti, Uganda, Madagascar, Malawi, and other African countries gaining expertise. Many GRÓ graduates today hold leadership positions in KenGen, Many GRÓ graduates today hold leadership positions in KenGen, GDC, and the Ministry of Energy and other key stakeholders. Ultimately, people are the core of Kenya's geothermal success story. Our scientists, engineers, and technicians, many of whom are trained here in Iceland, have fostered a strong culture of innovation and problem solving. They've turned knowledge into national growth and inspired the next generation of geothermal professionals. This is the real power of GRÓ GTP, not just in the energy it produces, but in the human energy that it unleashes. And just as Honorable Minister said, one of those ladies, the one that you can see, and I wish I had a pointer, is the lady that you mentioned, who works at the UN, is one of our first, yes, yeah. And so many other familiar faces that I know most of you will be familiar with. At the top there is the CEO in green background, is the MD and CEO of GDC. And next to him is my good friend, Engineer Matthew Magomba, who's the General Manager, TGDC in Tanzania. And right to him is my team leader and boss, Mr. Peketsa Mangi, who's in charge of geothermal development in KenGen. Just to name but a few, but all those are faces that represent the efforts that capacity building in Iceland here. All those guys are fellows from GRÓ GTP across the years. And on this end, there are also some familiar friends, and I'm happy to see one of my old friends, the former director of GRÓ GTP, Ludwig. He is there with our former geothermal development director in Kenya back in the years. They were, of course, undertaking trainings. That is one of our fields on your right. It's one of the fields in Kenya up in the north. And you can see the efforts and the work that goes into this is replicated on the other side of that photo. Today, Kenya is recognized as a global leader in geothermal development. Being shortlisted to host the World Geothermal Congress in 2029 is not just an honor. It's a proof of what strategic partnerships and human capacity can achieve. Beyond its geothermal potential, Kenya also stands out for its rich cultural diversity, vibrant wildlife heritage, and strong commitment to environmental conservation, values that mirror our approach to sustainable energy. It's a moment of pride for Kenya and for GRÓ GTP, whose long-term investment in people has laid the foundation for this recognition. Boldly, Kenya looks forward to the opportunity to welcome the global geothermal community during the World Geothermal Congress in 2029, to experience not only our energy progress, but also the beauty, the warmth, and the spirit of our nation. I would want to mention at this point, the International Geothermal Association has shortlisted, initially were those 3 countries, but right now, as we talk, there is only Munich and Nairobi being considered to host the WGC. And the IGA committee was in Kenya 2 weeks ago for a pre-visit before the final decision. So we really look forward to hosting each and every one of you. While Kenya's progress is impressive, our geothermal journey is far from complete. Across East Africa, we see immense untapped potential. Countries like Ethiopia, Tanzania, Djibouti, Uganda, and Malawi, amongst others, are ready to follow this path. To sustain this momentum, we must continue to collaborate. We must continue to collaborate in training, research, and technology exchange, thereby strengthening the foundation that GRÓ GTP has helped to build. The next chapter of geothermal growth in Africa will depend on how effectively we empower people, support institutions, and close the existing gaps in funding and innovation. While continental partnerships between Iceland and Africa, with continued partnership between Iceland and Africa, we can unlock an entire region's geothermal promise and make clean, reliable energy a reality for millions more. And on that photo, as I conclude, is Kenya's Blue Lagoon. It's called the Geothermal Spa. It's one of a kind in Africa. I don't think there is one of that in the continent. And that is a concept that, of course, was borrowed from Iceland. So the collaboration is bearing fruit. In conclusion, the story of Kenya's geothermal success is above all a story of people empowered through knowledge, driven by collaboration, and united by a shared vision of a cleaner, more sustainable future. GRÓ GTP has been the bridge that made this possible, linking Icelandic expertise with African ambition, transforming potential into progress, and laying the foundation for geothermal revolution. Investing in people is the most powerful renewable energy of all. Tack för er.
Thank you, Peter, for a great insight on how Kenya has developed through geothermal and showing how the GRÓ Geothermal Training Programme has had an effect on that. We would have liked to have many, many more up here to tell their success stories about themselves and their countries. However, that is not possible. So we asked them to send us short videos to us, and we would put together a video where we have several GRÓ GTP fellows, former fellows, to say a little bit about how geothermal training has had an impact on in their respective countries. So now let's hope it works.
I am Agnes Reyes, and in 1979, 46 years ago, I attended the Icelandic Geothermal Training Programme, and I did the 6-month borehole geology course. Being a fellow of the Icelandic Geothermal Training Programme comes with a perpetual warranty, I think. Well, after my 6-month stint in 1979, the management of the Geothermal Training Programme, INGVAR in particular, actively supported and helped advance my career as a geothermal specialist in the Philippines and even later as a research scientist in New Zealand. I was given support, financial and otherwise, for attending and presenting talks at international conferences that widened my network of scientific and geothermal collaborators. INGVAR also instigated my first post-grad study in New Zealand, further expanding my knowledge base. Thank you to all the people involved in the Icelandic Geothermal Training Programme through the years. In the Philippines, I established the Geothermal Petrological Laboratory at the NOCEDC right after the Icelandic course in 1979. I was heavily involved in exploration drilling and field work until I moved to New Zealand in 1993. In essence, the Geothermal Training Programme in Iceland provided a strong foundation for my long career as a geothermal specialist and scientist. That the Icelandic Geothermal Programme is still extant after nearly 50 years is testament to the efficacy of the program and the selection procedure of fellows.
In Kenya, geothermal energy growth has been exponential, rising from a meager 210 megawatts in 2009 to just under a gigawatt today. This progress has been powered by capacity building and training from initiatives such as GRÓ GTP, which continue to develop skills and engineers who lead geothermal exploration and such innovations in the region.
That expertise helped me to create the first geothermal course in Republic Democratic of Congo, my country. So that course called it Introduction to Geothermal Energy.
During my training, my focus was on geothermal utilization, and I want to bring back what I learned in Iceland to Indonesia. Today, we have just completed our pilot testing about district heating using geothermal. If everything goes well, I will present this project at World Geothermal Congress 2026 in Canada.
I've been applying what I've learned from the program, especially in the reservoir engineering line, and it helped me a lot in areas such as in well testing analysis, in resource management, and just recently on a reservoir tracer test we're currently working on.
Through the knowledge gained and the technical guidance provided by research specialists, we were able to improve seismic monitoring processes in Lajeo's geothermal fields. This support has made it possible for the country to host and lead the diploma course for Latin America, as well as conduct short courses in the region. GTP alumni have become educators in these programs.
The Geothermal Training Programme has been doing a wonderful job in developing human capacity among geothermal specialists in the world. The knowledge offered in the area of geothermal exploration, engineering, project management, and environment has been transformative in the global geothermal landscape, including Africa and Tanzania as well. The acquired skills help to minimize project cost and risk and ensure informed decision making. A special appreciation to the government and the people of Iceland.
The benefits of this program are evident in the many prospecting campaigns we are now conducting throughout Costa Rica and the region. The expertise I gained, especially in geophysical applications, the integration with geoscientific data for geothermal development, and fostering meaningful dialogue with colleagues is something I will always treasure.
Hello, I am Andres Fernando Ramirez Baena. We recently participated together with the National University in one of the calls from the Colombian Ministry of Science for proposals for the project titled Generation of Geoscientific Knowledge and Technological Development focused on the harnessing of geothermal energy in the Ruiz-Tolima complex and its implementation strategies. The project was selected and is currently underway.
GTP experience in Iceland truly changed my career and my life. After returning to Vietnam, I started working on a geothermal heat pump project, one of the most applicable geothermal technology for our country.
The skills and insights I gained, I was able to contribute meaningfully to drafting and bringing out India's first national policy on geothermal energy, a major step towards our country's clean energy transition.
For example, I implemented the magnetotelluric geophysical method and also the study of gases in volcanic geothermal systems.
In this moment, in the company, we are developing new geothermal fields, Chinameca and San Vicente. And it's important for me and for the rest of my co-workers, which by the way, some of them are also GRÓ GTP fellows, to provide the company with the most reliable and precise information for the decision making of the company. So it's important for us to give the best results for the development of geothermal for El Salvador.
Coming back from Iceland, I started advocating for women equality, especially women representation in the Ladakh Autonomous Hill Development Councils and women in decision making at various levels, which led to the 33% women reservation in Ladakh Autonomous Hill Development Councils of Leh and Kargil. In terms of geothermal energy, I have been kind of advocating for propagation of geothermal development in India, which has led to the development of one of the first geothermal power plants in India.
One of the most unforgettable moments was witnessing the first-hand how Iceland utilized geothermal energy sustainably. Seeing their technology and innovation inspired me deeply.
Today I am applying these advanced techniques which I have learned during the training in my ongoing geothermal projects in India, which has elevated the quality and accuracy of our geothermal measurements and assessments too.
Today, as a consultant with the World Bank, I continue to build on that foundations of supporting countries to develop their geothermal potential.
Thanks to the skills, knowledge, and experience acquired during our training in Iceland, and especially through the master program, Bolivian fellows have played an active role in making Bolivia's first geothermal power plant a reality, which will start its operation soon. This plant is the highest altitude power plant in the world at almost 5,000 meters above sea level.
Has not only improved my professional competencies but also gave me a valuable personal growth. The knowledge shared, the hands-on training, and the exposure to diverse perspectives has strengthened my foundation as a geothermal geoscientist.
Thanks to GRÓ GTP, I've not only learned a lot through my research but also met inspiring people from all around the world, building friendships and professional network that will last a lifetime. I'm deeply grateful to GRÓ GTP for this incredible opportunity.
My journey with GRÓ GTP has been truly transformative. The program has equipped me with advanced technical skills and deepened my appreciation of how geothermal can drive clean and inclusive development.
And it's made a really big difference, not just for me as a fellow, but also in driving geothermal development in our countries.
For this reason, my institution, my country, and I, we are very grateful for this training program.
This experience has been truly transformative, both for me personally and for the development of geothermal energy initiatives in India.
Currently, I'm working as a general manager from Tanzania Geothermal Development Company Limited. We call it TGDC, where the knowledge I accumulated in Iceland has been one of the key ingredients in daily activities. Beyond my personal growth, the training has had direct impact on my institution and the wider energy sector in Tanzania.
The GRÓ GTP training didn't just teach me about geothermal, it helped me grow as a person, a professional, and part of the global geothermal community.
Thanks to the support of Iceland and the opportunity to study in the geothermal program and complete a master's degree at Reykjavik University, I was able to build a solid foundation in this fascinating field. Over the years, I have had the privilege to meet and work with people from different backgrounds, regions, and realities.
In this 6 months training, it was really truly transformative. I have learned advanced techniques for interpreting geothermal fluids that deepen my understanding of geothermal fundamentals with guidance from experts of GTP, ISOR, and University of Iceland.
This program allowed me to get an advanced scientific and technical skill in geothermal sector.
The GRÓ GTP was a transformative experience, providing invaluable support, knowledge, hands-on training, professional connections, and a broader vision of how we can positively impact society.
Once you become a GTP fellow, you gain a new family.
Thank you, Iceland! Thank you, GRÓ GTP!
I want to thank everyone that was in this video, and also the ones that did not make it into a video this time. But as I said, we have gathered a lot of testimonies from all over the world, and we are going to use it in the future. But now we are going to have a short panel session. I would like to invite the panelists to join me here, wherever you are. Oh, there you are. So, as already mentioned, this will be a recurring event over the next year or so, with the aim to introduce all 4 sister programs under the umbrella of GRÓ Center. The GRÓ Geothermal Training Programme is the first in line, as also mentioned earlier, and the Geothermal Training Programme is the oldest of the 4, established 46 years ago, and has received, as you have seen, 839 fellows from 68 countries during that time. Sorry. Now, we have 23 fellows that are going to finish now in 1 week and graduate from this program. So, we have also trained thousands of experts around the world through various on-site short courses, diploma courses, and recently online courses as well. And as well, we are supporting 6 months fellows for a master's and PhD studies here in Iceland, in the University of Iceland and Reykjavik University. And of course, the main goal is to make an impact on geothermal development around the world through this development cooperation, which is financed by the Icelandic government, as you heard earlier. So with me here today in this panel are 3 fellows from the GRÓ Geothermal Training Programme, Ms. Nursanti Banjahor from Indonesia, and she is studying for her PhD degree at Reykjavik University. Mr. Alvaro Ramos from El Salvador, studying for his master's degree at the University of Iceland, and Mr. Daryl Eastman from Dominica, which is a present 6-month fellow this year. So thank you all for joining me here in the panel. And as you have heard, the largest group of fellows from any single country has come from Kenya. And you could hear what the impact has been on the geothermal development from Peter's keynote speech. But we have also received many fellows from Indonesia and El Salvador over the last decades, and a few from Dominica as well. Your countries have progressed quite a lot, utilizing geothermal energy, mainly for power generation, but also for direct utilization. For example, Indonesia has about 2,400, 500 megawatts installed in electricity capacity, ranking number 2 over geothermal nations when it comes to installed capacity of electricity. El Salvador has also advanced quite a bit over the last decades, celebrating recently the 50th anniversary of their first geothermal power plant in Awa, Japan. And finally, Dominica, which has done geothermal exploration and drilling, and is now taking their first steps in installing a geothermal power plant on the island. 3 representatives from 3 countries with great success stories in geothermal development. Now, we would very much like to hear from you if and how the Geothermal Training Programme has affected development in your countries, how it has had an impact on you personally, and hear if you believe that this Icelandic support should continue to be relevant in the future. And that will take me to my first question to all of you. How has the participation in GRÓ GTP contribute to building technical and institutional capacity in your country's geothermal sector? Maybe you will start, Sandy.
Yeah. Thank you, Bjarni, for the introduction. So, the participation of GRÓ GTP played a crucial role in strengthening Indonesia's geothermal capacity, both technically and also institutionally. Because if I can mention, at least 3 categories of institutions joined from the government, such as Ministry, Energy and Mineral Resources, Geological Agency. Also, the second category come from the industries, several state-owned companies, for example, Geodipa, Pertamina, Indonesia Power, also PLN, joined the program. And the third category is the academia, which is ITB, just joined the program this year. So through this program, also Indonesia fellow funded for the master graduates. I see in the website at least 8 master graduates funded by GRÓ GTP and 1 PhD candidate, which is me, have pursued our study here in Iceland. So through this program, we as the fellow built a very high valuable international networks, great ideas, and also find a new perspective on how to develop geothermal energy in our country.
Thank you, Santi. And the same question maybe for you, Alvaro?
Yes, thank you, Bjarni. Well, the participation in GRÓ Geothermal Training has been transformative for El Salvador's geothermal sector. Over the years, many of our professionals have been trained here in Iceland, And when they have returned, they have the advice expertise in geoscience, drilling, reservoir engineering, environmental monitoring, and this has directly strengthened LAGEO. LAGEO is our national geothermal company by ensuring a highly skilled workforce that help to expand and extend our geothermal fields in a sustainable way. Nowadays, the geothermal energy is nearly the 25% of the electricity demand. And if I may share my personal experience, the participation in GRÓ GTP, when I came in 2023 from the specialist here in Iceland, in ISOR, I learned one of the methods of seismic processing here in Iceland. And when I came back home, we changed in the company this method, and now we improve the earthquakes locations, the accuracy. And you know that this is important to know where the fluids are moving for production and reinjection strategies.
Thank you, Alvaro. And Daryl?
Thank you, Bjarni. GRÓ GTP has had a positive impact on Dominica's geothermal journey, and we have had 5 participants so far in 5 specialization areas. Our first participant was in 2010, and fellows have returned home, and they have played roles in technical and also administrative areas, and this has helped us on our geothermal journey to hopefully in December this year have a 10 megawatts geothermal project power plant.
Thank you, Daryl. Another question. Have the skills acquired through GRÓ GTP led to the establishment of national geothermal units, research centers, or specialized training initiative in your country, Alvaro?
Yes, well, this is a nice question because I can mention one of the great achievements of GRÓ GTP, actually. El Salvador has become a regional training hub by hosting GRÓ GTP short courses and the geothermal diploma course for Latin America. And these courses together bring professionals from across Latin America and Caribbean. So this effectively turned our country into a center of geothermal knowledge sharing. So in these courses, GTP alumni have become educators too. And this is a great, and this initiative expanded the geothermal energy in expertise, even expanded expertise across the region. And this combination demonstrates how the skills gained through the GRÓ GTP have been institutionalized and multiplied for a long-term impact.
Thank you, Alvaro. That's a very great story, and that's exactly what we would like to see. Not only we receiving or providing training to countries, but they also picking up on this and educate larger regions, the next door neighbors, so to speak. So that's a very good success story. Santi, has GRÓ GTP facilitated long-term cooperation between your country and other geothermal nations, research institutions, or international organizations?
Yes, definitely. One of the recent examples is we just conducted the virtual discussion between Indonesian fellow. It was co-organized by the Embassy of the Indonesian in Oslo, and also the director of geothermal from Ministry of Indonesia joined. Bjarni also joined that discussion. And our discussion, one of the concrete things that we want to do is joint research between universities and also other related parties, for example, ISOR, Reykjavik University, University of Iceland, ITB, and etc. And we would like to see the impact as a multiplier effect. I have a personal impression also in that event that Fifi, one of the former fellow, she mentioned that she was mandated to do assessing one of the prospect in Kenya. And what she did the first time is call the fellow from Kenya and talk that, hi, I got this work and we can work it together. So that's one of the advantage of being a family of GRÓ GTP. And the other one, also I got the opportunities from Ting Ting. She was recommended me to become a part of a youth forum. It's part of the International Geothermal Association event during WGC 2023 in China. And I don't see it coming if I don't become the part of GRÓ GTP. So as a long term, I think GRÓ GTP always become a bridge for us to another collaboration across nations.
Thank you very much. It's good to hear how you continue to contact each other, the GRÓ GTP alumni, and assist each other and working on spreading the gospel. So Daryl, in your view, what role should GRÓ GTP play in the next decade to further accelerate sustainable geothermal development, especially in the emerging or developing economies?
I think that GRÓ GTP should firstly continue to accept Dominicans in the 6 months program. And Dominica is in a position where come the end of this year, once the plant has been built and it's operational, will be the first English-speaking country in the Caribbean to have a geothermal power plant. And when you look at the wider Caribbean, will be the second, first being Guadeloupe, who built their power plant about 40 years ago. So I think that we can be a template to other Caribbean countries who want to follow in our footsteps or is on that journey, so they know the do's and don'ts and don't repeat our mistakes. So once we continue to build capacity, we can assist ourselves and also other Caribbean countries.
Thank you, Daryl. I'm sure we are going to allow more Dominicans to come to the program. And maybe you could turn into a hub for the other Caribbean islands as well. So, Santi, the same question maybe.
Yes, I think almost the same with Daryl. The first thing to do is continue to serve, become like a knowledge hub globally. But then, because Alvaro mentioned about the Latin hub, I was thinking also to make another hub in Asia that can more like local context and maybe more people involved. Because you also nearer to the geothermal rich country like Indonesia, Philippines, Vietnam, and I think Indonesia will be proud to be the host. And then in the next decades, I think geothermal is not only about the electricity and direct use anymore. We see so many business prospects like carbon storage, carbon capture, and then the mineral extraction like silica or lithium. So I hope GRÓ GTP can also like expanding the modules with the current conditions, and hopefully by combining that scientific knowledge and practical in the field, we can empower all of the experts to gain the net zero emission and also implement the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Yeah.
Thank you, Santi, and I can confirm that we are in discussion with Indonesia, ITP especially, on trying to build a similar hub as we have in Kenya and El Salvador maybe. Mm-hmm. So, a question for all of you. Despite the rich geothermal potential, many countries still face a lot of hurdles in development. From your perspective, what are the main barriers to fully utilizing geothermal energy? And can GRÓ GTP help address these issues? Maybe, Daryl, if you start.
Sure. As you said, Dominica is rich in geothermal potential, and I think that the reservoir, of course, plays a huge role, and we need to monitor our reservoir as much as possible and protect it to extend the life of the power plant. And of course, the company that will be operating the power plant will have personnel to do this. But I think from a government point of view, we need to have our own people who can analyze data and do necessary research to assist us in that goal. So, of course, there's a GRÓ GTP, 6 months, but there's also the master's program, a PhD program. And I think having some Dominicans there to study along that line will assist us in that goal. Additionally, in the environmental and social expertise, specific to stakeholder engagement, we need some people to be trained in that area, specific to geothermal. And because the public sometimes, they're hesitant to endorse or support projects because of maybe fear or being uninformed. So if we can build capacity in that area as well, we could overcome those hurdles.
Thank you, Tarek. Santi, maybe you next?
Yeah.
Same question.
As you mentioned earlier, Bjarni, so Indonesia have an enormous potential of geothermal. It's almost 24,000 megawatts. And only 11% or 2,600 megawatts produce electricity, or it's almost 5% of the electricity that produced in Indonesia overall. But then we don't have like a proper inventory for the direct use, which is, I think, also one of the barriers, because I think Indonesia still see direct use as a potential, not like here. And then the second barrier is the financial constraint, because geothermal energy and renewable is not the priority yet in Indonesia to be funded for. And the third barrier will be the complexity of the regulations that need to be solved by the people. But on top of that, we can see that actually the three barriers that I mentioned is related to the human resources. So if GRÓ GTP can tackle that barrier to enhance the human resources in geothermal, then you become one of the solutions of the geothermal worldwide. So I think by combining that technical barrier with the strategic, financial, and also social acceptance, that will help geothermal development in Indonesia.
Thank you. And Alvaro?
Yeah, well, you know, the geothermal energy faces well-known barriers like high cost, the first stages of exploration, technical drilling risk too, and often the weak institutional frameworks. But also, I think it depends actually the nature of the country, because a country can be rich in a different kind of energy resource, and they think maybe that they don't need the geothermal energy now. But I guess GRÓ GTP is already helping addressing this challenge with the first with the 6-month training, then the opportunity to continue with the master and PhD programs, the short courses, different regions, and I think it depends actually how we take the tools and the skills that we gain here with the training. And I think the real value is not only the technical training, actually, but also the experience of coming here to Iceland and seeing a society powered by geothermal energy. And I think we need to, us as fellows, we need to carry this vision and try to spread the knowledges and try to think in the future. Maybe we can start to change slowly, but safely too, that we need the geothermal energy for the future.
Thank you very much. I agree. And for the final question, can you share specific examples of geothermal projects or policy initiatives in your country that were directly influenced by the GRÓ GTP fellows or the knowledge gained through the program? Maybe if you would take that, Santi.
Yes. Then I will share my personal story in this question. So I'm an engineer, work in the state-owned company called GRÓ Energy, and I'm mandated to be a part of the team who will build the 55 megawatt power plant in 2 places. The one named Dieng, it's located in the Central Java. So this Dieng area is challenging area because there is a lot of silica concentrated in the geothermal fluids, more than 1,000 ppm. And then during my 6-month training here with Gear, my supervisor, also Paul, we tried to calculate the mass flow configuration to the power cycle, either it's single flash or double flash, and how it will affect to the silica scaling precipitates in the surface facilities. And then I think it's quite successful. I bring back that result to Indonesia, and that one become one of the basis of design in Dieng power plant that now under construction, and hopefully in the next 2 years or so, it will commercialize 55 megawatt net. And the other example is also from a fellow, I will name, she's here, maybe Julia. So Julia just finished the master's with the study on Sikidang. So Sikidang also challenging field because it's acid. And then it's remained untouchable until Julia came there and studied about it and said to the management and the people there, subsurface team, and said that, hey, this is our reservoir, this is the challenge and the acid area in this place, and then how we gonna solve the problem in Sikidang. So that's 2 stories. I think it's only a little success story of almost, I think 50 Indonesian fellow have our own success stories, and even more for all of the fellows. So I believe that this unique success story has sharpened our knowledge as a personal, but also, as I mentioned, GeoDipa as a company also gained the knowledge, and especially our country also gained how to develop the geothermal furthermore. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Santi. And maybe to you too, Alvaro, the same question.
Well, in El Salvador, the GTP fellows have influenced directly in key geothermal prospects and policies. For example, in Berlin geothermal field, just to mention specific examples, updated 3D conceptual models improve the drilling strategies and reduce the drilling risks. This was one of the master projects like last year, I guess. And while in Awashapan, the reservoir monitoring skills helped extend the productive life of Awashapan. So as you said before now, thanks to some trainings, now we are celebrating the 50 years of the Awashapan since it started operations. But in addition, GRÓ GTP fellows, some GRÓ GTP fellows have advanced into the leadership roles. Now they are serving like project managers for the new geothermal prospect like San Vicente that started operation 2 years ago. And we are expecting maybe next year, Chinameca, the other. So we are going to increase the capacity. So this shows how the program not only builds individual skills, but also cultivates leaders who are driving now the next generation of geothermal development in El Salvador.
Thank you very much. Thank you, all of you. If there's a burning question out there somewhere, please feel free to ask a question or two. Well, if not, everything's clear. I'm happy to hear that. So thank you for partaking in this panel. And thank you all for sitting here and listening to the success stories. So maybe I will invite Nina here to the podium to...
Thank you, Bjarni, and thank you to all of you. So my name is Nina Björk-Jónsdóttir, and I'm the Director General of the GRÓ Center, that is the umbrella for these 4 training programs, including the GRÓ Geothermal Training Programme. So, ladies and gentlemen, now we reach the end of this first event in a series entitled From Knowledge to Development Impact that focuses on the results and impact of the 4 GRÓ training programs. Today we have witnessed firsthand the great developmental impact that the Geothermal Training Programme has had through its almost 50 years of activity. As Peter Maina, the keynote speaker, explained so nicely, the GRÓ GTP has been a bridge linking Icelandic expertise with African ambition to start a geothermal revolution. And we have today heard many other inspiring stories of more such bridges that have been built all over the world. Like Peter said, people are the core of geothermal success, and today we have heard how GRÓ GTP fellows drive geothermal development around the world and deliver lasting impact. It has been incredibly inspiring to listen to the many voices of the GRÓ fellows around the world and to hear of their achievements. I want to thank everyone who shared their stories and insights with us today. And as the Minister for Foreign Affairs, Mrs. Þorgerður Katrín Gunnarsdóttir, mentioned, Iceland can most certainly be proud of having played a role in supporting the GRÓ fellows and their home institutions in their important geothermal journeys. For those of you who want to know more about GRÓ and the 4 training programs, I want to encourage you to have a look at the website. I also want to tell you about an external evaluation that was conducted last year by the German company GOPA on the development impact of the 4 GRÓ training programs during the years 2018 to 2023, which is also available on our website. And there you can see interesting statistics that highlight the impact of the training programs. For example, in an alumni survey, 73% of the fellows reported large career advancements due to the training program they attended. More than 80% had trained others, more than 65% had conducted research, about 50% had introduced new initiatives, and another 50% had advised local communities. More than 35% had advised policy and decision makers. These are some of the main contributions of the alumni to the advancements of the UN Sustainable Development Goals that are highlighted in this evaluation. And as the Minister mentioned also, today is an opportunity to say thanks. The GRÓ GTP was hosted for its first 40 years at the Icelandic Energy Authority Orkustofnun, and since the establishment of the GRÓ Center in January 2020, it has been hosted at Iceland GeoSurvey, or ISOR. The program has been led by 4 directors, Dr. Ingvar Friðleifsson, Mr. Lúðvík Georgsson, Dr. Guðni Axelsson, and now Mr. Bjarni Richter, which are all present today. And over the decades, countless experts in fields as varied as drilling technology, chemistry of geothermal fluids, geothermal geology, and more have given lectures and supervised fellows. And then there are those that have made sure that all arrangements were according to plan so the training could go on smoothly. I want to use this opportunity to acknowledge the important contribution for the success of the program to all of the staff and experts that have worked with the program and the host institutions. And I want to thank the Institute of International Affairs of the University of Iceland, the Ministry for Foreign Affairs, and the GRÓ Geothermal Training Programme for cooperating and organizing today's event. And thank you all for joining today, both those that are present online and those of you who are here. The stories we have heard are, of course, only a few of the countless stories the alumni could share with us, and we look forward to bringing you more stories about how GRÓ alumni from the other training programs are working to improve the lives of people and making our planet more sustainable. The next events in this series will focus on the impact of the GRÓ Fisheries Training Programme hosted at the Icelandic Marine and Freshwater Research Institute that received its first fellows in 1998. This event will take place in February, in the first days of February, but there are more details to follow. And then the third event, focusing on the GRÓ Gender Equality Studies and Training Programme that is hosted here at the University of Iceland, will take place on the 3rd of March, so you can already pencil that in your calendars if you want to join us. And then we will close the series with an event on the GRÓ Land Restoration Training Programme that is hosted at the Agricultural University of Iceland. So please stay tuned for the next event, and we look forward to welcoming you again and to tell you more stories of the impact of the GRÓ training programs. Thank you so much.